4th down, the final play, unless they can stick it in the end zone. Dorsey under pressure, throws it, incomplete. The Buckeyes win.
Ezekiel Elliott, and he's got an opening. Elliott off to the races. Can they catch him?
Feature the two backs as receivers, and now a downfield shot on first down for the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State strikes first. Making the judgments again, and there is Smith running free, breaks a tackle. Ohio State strikes quickly from 45 yards. Pressure comes. Sword, knock it out, and picks it up. Jack Sword coming down the sidelines. Ohio State scoop and score and dagger from 82 yards.
Here they come.
Heavy pressure. Howard delivers downfield, and Smith, he's got it. Jeremiah Smith, 2025 college football national champion, Coach Ryan Day, and the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Welcome in, Buckeye backers. We are bringing it to you live from Seattle, Washington, to the cornfields of Enid, Ohio. We are the pulse of Buckeye fans across the nation, with Seattle Matt and Buckeye Steve. Buckeye backers, this is awesome. What a day to be a Buckeye. I got you with the IO, baby. It is a gold pants kind of Sunday morning for us. It was 2,191 days since Ohio State beat Michigan. And man, if you were the coach of the team that had to wait that long to win, 6 years in the making, 4 losses, one incredibly hard to swallow loss last year, almost got fired, almost left because it was so bad. The media frenzy, the feeling that, people going after your family, and you had the opportunity to do a little clapback. Would you have said what Ryan Day said and been so humble and being like, we're just going to win. We're just going to win humbly, man. We're going to accept this and move on, take our hardware and get to Indy. Would you have responded like that? Because I sure as shit wouldn't have.
I would like to say I would have, but I guess I'd have to be in the moment to be sure, because I got a little bit of a conservative side, but also got a little bit of a shit talking side. So I guess it just depends what came out. Yeah,
you would have shit talked. That's for damn sure. Matt, anything on that? How would you would have responded like that? That would have been your exact words. In fact, you might have made it even more conservative.
When you lose, say little. When you win, say less, because the winning speaks for you. And that's what Ryan Day did. He took the high road. He did the right thing. He showed that you win with class, and that's what he did today. So, yeah, I would have did the exact same thing. Ryan Day played that flawlessly.
Oh, Emily was there. The snow was epic. So glad we went. You know what? That time, it's funny because they've had 2 epic big house moments in the rivalry with the snow. And it was when Michigan first beat Ohio State in 2021 again. And then this year, 2025, the snow just dominated them, though. Just absolutely, like the trenches, our offensive line played better than they played all season, probably in 4 years. Just absolutely dominated. Sayin was able to sit back in the pocket. There were holes opened up all over the place. And when there wasn't, Bo Jackson just went off.
You got to give Day some credit too, man. We've been like riding Day about why are we trying to run the ball? Why are we trying to run the ball? Why are we trying to run the ball? And you've seen it, man, that development the last 3 or 4 weeks that he was just consistent on trying to get the running game going. And boom, the product right here in front of us on this glorious, glorious Saturday we saw yesterday, and running it down Michigan's throat.
Oh, man, running it down Michigan's throat. Man, they had to just been so defeated. Yeah. And it was glorious, just like this picture. Absolutely glorious. Wow, that edit is on point. I love it. I love every minute of that. Everything's perfect about it. Like you said, pregame or pre-show, like just his Superman stance there in the end zone. Like, yep. And that was kind of the dagger. Like once you got there, you knew like there's no coming back from that. Not on this defense. Not on this historical defense. And to go into that, like, we're going to talk offense all day long, but before we do, there was a stat thrown out. It's the first time since 1975 that a team has held the first 12 opponents to under 17 points per game. This defense is historical. It was 1975, and it was Florida that did that before. Wow. Absolutely wow. Peyton Scarberry, go Bucks. The locker room's lighting it up, man. Here we go.
The
locker room, they're tearing it up, man. And why wouldn't you? There's no Michigan fans on here this year like there were last year. Woo, it was blowing up. I couldn't even keep up with it last year. There were so many Michigan trolls on here. Bo Jackson played himself into a future superstar status. Absolutely. The only thing that I wish I could have seen more was a touchdown out of him. Like, boom. This is an epic photo, man. The freshman. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more too, but where do you guys want to start talking about this game? We want to talk about offense? We want to talk about defense? We want to talk about
man, let's just run through the game, man. Like, I guess when the game first started, man, what was y'all's thoughts? Because the first quarter was a little bit of a struggle, and I ain't gonna lie, I had a little bit of worry in me.
To me, Seattle, it was Groundhog's Day all over again. I was like, we're gonna see this repeatedly. When's it gonna end? When is it gonna end? But the offense got on the field, and I was like, you know what? They're airing it out. That first throw to Jeremiah or to Carnell Tate, I was like, all right, yeah, we're in this to win it. And then they do, another throw to the outside on the other side. At that point, I was like, we're going to get stupid with play calling too, even though it's passing. Like, run something over the middle, do something different. Like, don't just air it out to each side. But, it was a bad read by Julian Sayin, and wow did our defense hold, though. I mean, that don't break defense, that could have easily been a problem. Yeah,
that red zone defense held up, and then they obviously made the changes at half and just turned the game different. But the red zone defense in the first half, especially when the offense put them in a bad spot, they played out, man. You can't say nothing bad about those Silver Bullets, man. They're on an epic level that I have never seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Mr. Raccoon saying, Metal Raccoon said, I don't know what that is. This comment was good though. I guess that is our troll, maybe. I don't know. It's a bigger deal than folks realize about the defense because the game has changed. It absolutely has. And if you go back and watch Jalen McLean on that second field goal, he stopped Marshall from the opposite side of the field. If he would have made one wrong move and got out of position, gone a little bit more to the left, he attacked down the field, made a touchdown saving tackle. And I don't think he's getting enough credit because he brought the wood, he made that open field tackle and got him down. It would have been a touchdown, absolutely. And that could have changed the momentum forever in this game. I mean, football is a mental game. That's why I always preach. Come out early and give them your best shot. Put them down right away, especially in a rivalry game. You want that momentum. And Michigan had the momentum at that point, right? They got the pick. They were driving. They were about to score a touchdown. And Jalen McLean came and brought the wood, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think there was definitely some initial scaling issues that I think the offense was kind of adjusting to the Michigan defense. But once they and maybe the butterflies of the game, whatever it was, but once they settled in, it was game on.
Yeah, and this is actually what Seattle Matt texted me right away. In the pregame, they used the word attack. So I knew we were in for a show. Remember what you said? Your exact words or written text?
No, I think we talked after the game, and I told you pregame, listening to his talking to a reporter, how he just was poised, he was calm, he was completely under control. It sounded like a man with a plan, and that's I think that confidence and calmness exuded throughout the team, and I think even after post game, you saw that calmness too. I think we were talking back. I think it was 2021. The walk-off win against Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Something was off there in that post game.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was trying to prove something still. That wasn't real Ryan Day, the fiery, emotional, saying a lot of weird things that didn't make a lot of sense. It just didn't fit Ryan Day. It didn't fit an Ohio State coach. It felt forced and it felt fake. And now what you saw, the iteration or progression of Coach Day to today, this quiet calmness. And that comes from knowing you're the best program in the country. You're doing the right things to be the best. And you don't have to prove anything to anybody because you're on a 16-game winning streak, having won a national title, 4 playoff games, 7 wins against top 10 teams. And now you beat Michigan at their house.
Yeah, who doesn't like the John Wayne quiet professional type attitude, man? Like, you gotta love it. Like,
I love it.
The quiet professional is always the key, man.
Yeah, and you said before, and I'm going to give you your credit. It sounded like after that Notre Dame game, it sounded like a Wyoming coach, not an Ohio State coach. And I thought that was spot on. And Day has really grown. He's grown into a professional, a national champion coach. You know, he's talking more like a president now than he is. And when he speaks, people listen. So I think he knows deep down, like, his words matter now a lot more than they did before. You're on a different level. You grow up real quick. You realize, hey, what I say matters, but also I'm in the clear, man. You have a lot off your back, a lot of pressure off you. Once you win that hardware, you can come into the game. And I wasn't as worried about the game this year as I have been in the past. I guess I wasn't worried last year either, but as worried as
that calmness that he spread out through the team, I think that actually hit the fan base, because I don't think there was too many Buckeye fans that were on the edge or on high alert. Even in the first quarter when everything's a little rough, nobody was that I knew was really freaking out still. And there was, I don't know, man, the calmness just went everywhere.
I was. It felt like deja vu all over again.
Emily says she can't wait to watch the All 22 film. Where do you watch the All 22 film? That's the question. I've been looking for access to All 22 for a while. I would love to have some access to that. I mean, maybe I'm not searching hard enough. And that is one of the problems definitely in the big house, is it's too level with the field, the seats, especially the lower you get. So those first two, spots, or first maybe 20 rows, they're all like just a little bit higher than the other ones. You got to sit 20 rows or higher, or it's going to be a problem. It's going to be hard to view, especially if you're not tall.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think to your point, when we were talking, I think we all wanted to see them kind of come out, put their foot on the gas, and kind of take momentum early. What I think was truly beautiful about this game is they played an atrocious first quarter by and large. You know, they came out and did the things we wanted. They threw the ball instead of ran the ball. Well, that backfired horribly. Incomplete pass, interception. Michigan, first 2 drives getting points, albeit the second drive, offense put the defense in a really bad spot. But you're down 6-0 at that point. And honestly, we can talk about it all you want. Jeremiah Smith, I sat that whole commercial break and thought for sure that was a touchback. 100% thought for sure that was a touchback. I thought it was 6-0 Michigan. They're going to get the ball at the 20-yard line. So what we saw from this team is we saw them overcome adversity and dominate, which to me is a lot better than them getting the ball first, going up 7-0, never looking back. I love the fact that this team on the road got punched in the mouth in the first quarter, had a bleak situation, and then utterly dominated the final 3 quarters of the game. We saw the true character of this team yesterday.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely saw the true character. And then I think that same moment from last year when we lost to now, like what Day changed and how the team changed, that is still going strong, still carrying strong. Like they just, I don't know. They're just like, hey, we just got to keep going. We got to keep on moving. We got hit. It's okay. No big deal.
It really was. We keep talking about going back to last year's game and the flag planting and the fighting, but sometimes people need those really dramatic examples in life to kind of shake it up, to really change their mindset. And it felt like that flag plant, that loss when you're a 20-point favorite at home, all those factors was the catalyst to this 16-game winning streak and everything that has come as a result of it. So it really was, how do you respond to adversity? What's your true character as a result of that? This Ohio State program has shown that over 365 days. It's incredible.
Yeah, to quote Woody Hayes, nothing cleanses the soul like a good ass kicking.
But it's true. It
is.
really is true at this case. You can point to a lot of different factors. And yes, Ohio State's had the talent. They've had great coaches. They've had all of it. But I can point to a lot of programs that have a lot of talent, a lot of coaching that have never, ever put it together the way Ryan Day and this Ohio State team has.
Oh, I agree. I know we need to get into the game, but I'm telling you, the contrast between Kurt Signetti and Ryan Day, that's going to be an interesting one leading down this week to that game.
It really is. And, you know, Indiana's the number one offense in the country. We're going to really see you now saw going into a top 15 environment on the road, weather conditions. You saw how this team responded. You're never going to have to face weather again, thank goodness. So that's nice to see. But now you're going up against the number one offense in the country with a team that's never been in that situation before, in their backyard, has nothing to lose. You're going to see the true testament of this defense again. And this is great because we're in playoff football. You got 4 games left. Yeah. Leave it all out.
Competition's only going to get better every week from here on out. And it might be the best we see next week against Indiana for who knows how many weeks into the playoffs. Indiana is definitely a serious team, serious threat. I mean, they got a good defense. That offense is rolling. I mean, Mendoza's the favorite for the Heisman for a reason. Like, this is going to be a real check for this defense. And I think the Silver Bullets are locked, loaded, and ready to fire, baby.
I think they are. I'll be curious to see how Indiana looks to attack this defense. I would expect a lot of 3-step drops early, try to pick them apart with some shorter routes. I think that's where you're exposing a little bit of that Patricia defense, or it seems like that intermediate routes over the middle is kind of breaking those zones a little bit that he likes to run. So curious how Patricia is going to game plan here. I don't think you're going to get a ton of pressure on Mendoza. He gets the ball up pretty quickly. So I think this poses a really nice challenge, but that's where I was talking to Steve yesterday when he was trying to write his article. You're going 2 completely different offensive styles. Both can be challenging in and of themselves. You look at Michigan, that true ground and pound physical team with an athletic quarterback. So you can't fully commit to the run because you got to be aware of boots and play action off that with Underwood. And Underwood's a really good talent. It's tough to be a true freshman in the Big Ten. We saw that. And now you go to the flip side with Indiana, which is just a high-powered offense, can run the ball, but predominantly does pass the ball. So you're seeing these 2 extremes, both tough to defend. Just curious how they defend both.
Yeah, it's a very, very different quarterback situation. You have one with tons and tons and tons of starting experience in Mendoza versus Underwood, who has obviously his 12 games after today. But yeah, man, Underwood, man, we completely shut him down. 6 carries, 1 yard. I mean, I think the defense was ready for them to try to get a little bit wild with the running game with the quarterback, and they completely shut that down to the point where out of Michigan, I don't even think they even wanted to try it against the Ohio State defense. Man, that game was just fun to watch. Fun to watch the defense just when they got into their mode, just set up, shut them down.
It was, but what's I don't know which one, and I was talking to Steve about this last day, was more soul crushing. Was it the defense stifling that offense, or was it that third quarter drive, that 19-play drive where they ran the ball 17 times? And to me, we saw that last year. We've seen that in the past where Michigan kept getting first downs, especially towards the end of last year's game, and you just couldn't stop them, and it took the life out of you. We saw that in the third quarter yesterday. But on top of that drive, you also know, even with that field goal, Michigan ain't scoring against your defense. So it just took their will.
I think it was the 4th and 5 touchdown, double move, Smith touchdown catch that obviously comes with a little controversy depending on what side of the fence you're on. You're going to see it in different ways. But yeah, man, that was the game changer. I think at that point from there on, like, they just knew it was over.
That's a great point. I think that was at 4th and 5 to have that confidence to run that route and throw that fade. And why wouldn't you have the confidence? He's the best player in the country, and he put on an incredible NFL move to get open.
Yeah, you got the best wide receiver in the country, the most accurate passer in the country. I mean, come on.
It really was. It really was. But I guess it would be a great question if you had to say which side of the ball did you feel kind of what this team yesterday? What would your gut go?
I don't think either one carried it. I think they went out there, both of them did their business, right? Like I think you had maybe the defense helping the offense out in the first quarter, but after that, they both were just doing their thing. I mean, you talk about the best offensive line performance we've probably seen in years at Ohio State in this game. You've seen the blend of the running game and the passing game we haven't seen since last year in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know, like everywhere. I don't think anybody held up anybody. Everybody just did their job on both sides of the ball, every position, you name it. I mean, I can't remember the last time I seen that offensive line look that good. I mean, Sayin had all the time in the world. Bo had all the holes to hit. The defense, outside the first quarter, they gave up some gaps here or there on some pin and pulls. But once they settled in too, it was just everybody was just holding each other up. And I don't think there was one outstanding performer or offense or defense that outperformed the other. I think it was just both great. Red zone, maybe a little red zone issues for the offense here and there, but they still scored, 5 of their 8 drives?
Yeah. I think that's a very Coach Day response. I love it. I think that's spot on. And when you look at that offensive line, again, they might be the players of the game because they didn't allow a single sack. To your point, I don't even think Sayin got hit to the ground at all, even, a QB pressure one time. Okay. Yeah, one time. I mean, it was just an unbelievable game, not only in run blocking, but in pass protection. And credit to the tight ends and running backs. There was in that third quarter, I believe it was a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, where you saw a blitzing linebacker off the edge, and you saw Nate Roberts pick up that blitz out of the backfield, chip a blitzing linebacker and allow that run for that first down. That is a very difficult play to execute in real time, and a freshman was able to do that. You saw DJ Donaldson a lot of times in third down packages picking up the blitz and pass protect. So you saw all the little things from all these players really show up and show out, and it was a true team win. I think your answer's spot on.
I mean, the offense, the tight ends were involved. They were making catches. They were making plays. The wide receivers obviously did their thing, and the running game was going. Like every position on offense was cooking, and it all started at the offensive line. I mean, it all started there.
It really did. And again, that's where we've seen in that past teams, Michigan teams do that to Ohio State, especially the last 4 years, where they've controlled the clock, they've controlled possession, they've ran the ball down our throats, and they've taken away the game. They've taken away our offensive firepower. Now, I'm not saying Michigan had offensive firepower, but that second half was a true flip the script. And
that's beautiful. I mean, you're talking 12 play, 20-minute drive. I mean, that is as dominant as you can get, right? Especially if you're trying to play the way Ohio State's been playing this year. 12 play, 20-minute drive. I mean, Michigan had the ball, 6 minutes in the second half? I mean, just pure dominance.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't get any more dominant than that. If you can keep the ball
for 12 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. But that's where you even look at that fourth quarter, just the fourth quarter. Michigan held the ball for 2 minutes and 4 seconds. That's incredible. That means you controlled 13 minutes.
I'm back.
Of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, the defense too. I mean, you're keeping the defense rested. I think that's why a lot of people are frustrated with the slower offense that Ohio State's kind of put on brand this year. But if you have a defense this good, keep them rested, keep them off the field, be slow. It doesn't matter. Like, I know some people like to be flashy, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't mess with this recipe at all.
I think that's a great point, and they talked about it yesterday on the commentary.
Yeah,
where Ohio State has run the fewest offensive plays in college football. Now, there's a combination in that, right, where they do have quick strike capabilities, so that will naturally produce fewer plays. But I love all about that. So
you guys hit on a lot of
great offensive coaches, old boy out at USC, man. Like, that's been his biggest problem. He focuses so much on having a fast delivering, scoring offense that his D is always on the field, and that's been That's been Lincoln's biggest fall. And I think Day has like seen that grown. Like he was a young coach. We took a chance on a young coach. We brought him in, and I think you're starting to see him hit his prime. Like he is in his prime right now.
Yeah. There's a couple things that I got to hit on because you guys hit on a couple of things emotionally in this game, but go back all the way after that where we kind of stopped and started talking about Indiana and the Big Ten championship game. Go back to that drive where Bo Jackson had that 36-yard run. That was monumental in this game. They had all the momentum. It was time for us to answer back. They drove it down the field, got little chunk plays, and all of a sudden, Bo Jackson was stopped. He made a little move, stutter step, and boom, he was gone. Welcome to the game, man. That was a welcome to the game moment, and that was an oh shit moment for the Wolverines because they were like, oh, they're hitting back, man. They're hitting back. At that point,
coming alive, man. Bo is coming alive. His balance,
balance
is absolutely outstanding. How he just kind of bounces off hits, keeps his balance, keeps his feet moving, using a hand to stay up. You name it. Like his balance was and vision was just off the charts.
No, I'm glad you hit on that, Steve, because I don't think we're giving enough praise to Bo Jackson yesterday. And I'll look at it from two different facets. There's the stats and the eyeball test, which can be two different things depending on what you look at. The eyeball test was he was turning plays into 3-4 yard gains that should have been no gain or 1 yard at most with his, to your point, AJ, his balance, his poise, his footwork was impeccable. He was doing all the little things you needed to keep positive yards going, falling forward, keeping the chains moving, which is critical to everything we talked about. But I also take it a step further with the stats argument. He touched the ball 26 times for 166 yards in the snow in Ann Arbor as a freshman. And I wanted to hit back on the picture you showed at the very beginning of this, where you showed the picture of Bo. You talked about this, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't buy in to this concept when you've talked about it the last few years. This picture has me bought in to Ohio boys coming into Ohio State and knowing how important this game is. That's a Villa Angeles St. Joe kid outside of Cleveland. He understands the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. Not only does that picture signify it, but 26 touches for 166 yards proves that it means something a little bit more to him.
Oh, yeah.
And all around back. Look at those receiving yards, too. Like, he wasn't just on the ground. He was involved in the passing game. He was picking up blocks. I don't know how many times he picked up a blitzing backer to whenever Michigan decided to bring pressure. It's like all around. I mean, just a dominant game, picking up the blitz, going out of the backfield, catching the ball, running the ball. I mean, he was a star.
If we were to get back into that and talking about him picking up that blitz, that was on the drive going in when Ennis was about to score. And if he wouldn't have picked up that block, I think there was 5 minutes left in the game, somewhere around that. It was 2nd and 1 with 4 minutes and 51 seconds left. Bo picks up that blitz, that blitzing linebacker. And that's not something that in pass pro you see a lot of freshman running backs do. Not like that. And not stopping him, stalemating him in his tracks, and then pushing him to the side. And he had a little bit of nasty attitude afterwards. Like he got him moving and then pushed him over. Like he kept with that block the whole way, even after the pass had gone downfield. It was awesome to see. Absolutely.
And I gotta give CJ. We love to hate on CJ as Buckeye Nation, and we need to fix that because in the fourth quarter, he was an engine. Like, yo, we're not giving this ball back. We're ending this game.
Where we need him.
He was getting it too.
That's where we need him. When everyone else has been a little worn out, when everyone else has done their thing, CJ's that workhorse at the end of the game. But the problem is how many times all those touches that Bo had, how many times did he have it in the red zone?
I don't have those. I will say that after that Bo Jackson run that you talked about, which was mesmerizing, CJ Donaldson was down there for 5 straight plays. Now, he didn't touch the ball 5 straight times, but he was in there for 5. I understand putting Donaldson in after that big run, give Bo a breather, even a second play. Bo Jackson needs to be in there. 1st and goal at the 5-yard line, 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line. That's Bo Jackson. It's not CJ Donaldson. CJ Donaldson did his job in the fourth quarter to complement the other running backs, fall forward, get a few yards. He did what he needed to do. He's not a goal line back. Bo
He's the
Jackson's
closer.
your goal line back.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. When the game's in check, put some more hits on CJ. Let him be the closer and get us out the game.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you need, that's the thing, like, because he's like a 3-yard back, kind of. CJ Donaldson is a 3-yard back, but Bo's going to make you miss, and he has that explosiveness. And if you saw, there was a couple other plays where he should have been hit in the backfield and gained like 5 to 7 yards. You need to have that. You got to have him. You got to have him in there. And he needs his touches. I mean, that's deflating. It's a good thing he's a team player, because to me, you know, if you're a running back and you run the ball all the way down the damn field and they take you out in the red zone, it feels like it's hurtful. You know, like, hey, give me mine, man. Let me score a touchdown, especially in the game, man. Let the dude get it in the game. And I don't know the situation for it, and I don't know why Ryan Day and the offense are doing it, but I want to stop complaining, because I think it's absolutely stupid, because this game was just destroyed. That's the only thing I can complain about. That's it.
Hey, that Tegra comment, the Tegra comment that was up on the screen. Yeah, like he played his best game too. That's the one position that we've had questions on, and he killed it. He killed it today. I think he had like maybe one questionable play, but the rest of it, man, he was just dominant too.
Yeah,
but I don't mind nitpicking a little bit too, because that is the style of this show, where we want to point out the plays. We love Ohio State to a fault, but ultimately you still have 4 games left to go, right? You still have a quarter of your season left by and large, and you've got your 4 toughest games by and large ahead of you. So it's okay to continue to look at this team and see about areas of improvement, because you still have a long way to go.
Yeah, Bo's a situational back. He's good for every situation.
For sure.
I like that. I like that.
Anytime you need him, he's in, man. I absolutely agree with that. He's got a little bit of everything. He's got a little bit of wiggle. He's got a little bit of speed, and he's got a little bit of power. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. I mean, he can do it to an elite level every single time. Let the guy score. Just let him score, please. Come on. Especially in the game, man. Especially in the game. Like, you score a touchdown in the game, legendary. I mean, he's already legendary, but that takes it to another level. Right? I mean, let's move on. Let's move on from Bo, because I could talk about it all day. I'm getting a little upset, and I should be happy. We got gold pants. Let's get back to
gold pants, baby. Talk about that tape pass. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but that was definitely the dagger, if you will. I think the shock and awe was Jeremiah Smith, but then Tate was the dagger with that catch. I think those 2 plays were absolutely huge. I think that just ended any Michigan fan or players thought that they were going to even have a chance to get back into this game.
And it was the Ennis touchdown was where I was like, uh-oh, this could get ugly quick. When he scored, I was like, oh, dude. And then at that point, I was like, can we get Carnell Tate a touchdown? I even put it out on Twitter. I was like, that would be the trifecta of wide receiver touchdowns. All right. Get each of your starters a touchdown. And then they come out in the third quarter. They missed that opportunity to kind of double up, get a point, get a touchdown before half, and then a touchdown right after half. They didn't get it, but the defense held.
And we talked about Ohio boys. All 3 of those wide receivers are from down south, where it's nice and warm. Boy, they played out in that snow that everybody's like, oh, these receivers, and they're not used to this kind of weather, and they balled out.
And Julian Sayin, some people you guys were talking a little bit about, hey, we're not going to have weather from here on out. I wouldn't be worried about it. The way Bo ran in it, the way the offensive line performed, most of those offensive linemen are from Ohio too.
I think this is a defense. So you can put that defense anywhere, any weather. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, defense travels. Defense always travels. That's the mantra. It's the truth. Offense, you never know what you're going to get going to neutral sites or hostile environments. Defense can play anywhere. They can play in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we got to talk about the defense too. Because who stood out? Who had the most tackles?
That Sonny, I don't know. I don't know who.
I got it, Sonny.
6 tackles. I wrote the article about it, so I think I remember. 6 tackles. He had 3 solo and a tackle for a loss.
Yeah, he had a TFL. Yep.
So quiet assassin, still the quiet assassin. He's always getting numbers and he's always vital to this defense, but he doesn't get the credit he deserves because he should be a national, like, Blitnikoff type person, like defensive player of the year type person, but he's not. He's just quietly getting it.
He'll get his love when the NFL starts looking.
He will.
They're already drooling.
But the other thing about this defense is it's so versatile and so good across all levels that you can have quiet times from Arvell Reese. You can have quiet times from Downs. But when they do have to make a play and they come up and hit you, it's like, oh my goodness, because you saw Downs come up from downfield and just level guys. I think there was 2 or 3 times where he just absolutely hammered them. And one of them was that tight end pass at the end. And it's just emotionally, it's like, it's fatigue. You're like, I haven't seen this guy all day, but he just laid the wood, and I don't ever want to feel that again.
Well, you talk about the physical presence, though, which we've seen from K.O. Downs quite a bit. Excuse me on that. What about his pass breakup? His coverage skills were impeccable. That pass breakup, I know a lot of Michigan fans want to scream PI. He was even with the wide receiver coming up from that safety position, reading that middle in route. His shoulder pads were even with the wide receiver, which means he has equal right to the ball as a wide receiver. Perfectly clean pass breakup, beautiful read on that, and he closed that gap. That was the right read by Underwood. He closed that gap half the time any other safety would. So not only is he lay the wood, can he be in the box, almost play that linebacker type style, but his decision-making in coverage is unbelievable as well.
I mean, he's a generational player. There's no doubt about it. I don't even think he gets enough love, and he gets a lot of love, and I still don't think it's enough because Downs is, I mean, he's the key to that defense. He's the vocal leader. He's the positional leader. He's a dominant player. Like there's not like a single thing that you could say bad about Downs. Maybe he's a little undersized, but he plays beyond that.
He plays bigger. Yeah, it's absolutely true. And he brings the wood when he comes up, man. It's amazing. And he is the most smooth person when you see him in the media rooms too. He's just talking. He's just smooth, man. Everything he does, his game is smooth. His interview skills are smooth. This dude's an elite professional in all sense of the word. Yeah,
because the cornerbacks, they got a little bit of fire, right? But Downs, yo, enough of that comment.
And he was doing that. And Emily said earlier they had to run at halftime, and CJ Barnett had to run at halftime and get who was it? Jermaine. Yeah. He had to run and get Jermaine at halftime because he was out there chirping. And that's Jermaine.
Yeah. I mean, corners always got a little bit of spice to them. It's just kind of natural.
It's normal. And they got to, man. They got to be those guys that can talk real quick and back it up and then forget about it and move on to the next play. And they did. Igbinosa getting that interception at the end, again, was huge if we're talking about defense. Kenyatta Jackson with the sack was also huge. That was the point when I saw Kenyatta Jackson get that sack. That was the point where I was like, Underwood's giving up. He doesn't want to get hit. Because it wasn't much of a hit. He went down on an arm tackle, and he went down because he knew Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs, guys like that were coming to get him. And he did not want any bit of it. He was like, man, I'm just going to go down there after me.
I felt like they actually didn't put him in a position to even take too many hits, man. Like I don't really understand Michigan's game plan at all. Like I think Urban Meyer talked about this. He's talking about if he had him as a quarterback, like, and you're coming into this game and you don't know what to do against this defense, use your big, strong quarterback and run the ball. And I don't even think Michigan even really wanted anything to do with that. And I don't know if it was Underwood. I don't know if it was the plan. I don't know if it was more. But, I mean, he had only 6 carries. He had 1 yard on those 6 carries.
I think they tried it a little bit. But he didn't do much with it. It was, they had -8 yards rushing in the second half. -8 yards. That's insane.
That is insane.
The total yards for the game, 419 to 163. Wow. Passing yards, 233 to 63. Rushing yards, 186 to 100. I mean, that just screams I'm getting blown out. And it screams domination. Blown out in every sense of the word. Absolutely crazy. Dominated them.
That second half was the most dominant I think, half of football I've ever seen Ohio State play.
I agree with
as
you.
a whole team. I mean, I guess you could probably go back to the playoffs and look at some of those games. Obviously, what we did to Oregon in the first half in the playoffs.
That's true.
What we did to Tennessee in the first quarter. Like, you could probably talk about that, but it was just like tough man football in the second half. Though we're just going to run it down your throat. We're going to hold on to this ball forever, and there ain't nothing you can do to stop it.
And I think one of the most telling stats is the fact that you lost the penalty battle severely. And I'll say you lost the turnover battle. I understand it was 1-1. Igmanosin had the interception at the end. That was a fourth down play. You know, that was kind of it was going to be turned over no matter what it was. So even though those stats were even at 1-1 on turnovers, they basically lost the turnover battle with the first quarter. But the penalties, 6 penalties, 72 yards for Ohio State, 1 penalty for 3 yards for Michigan. So you even to losing the turnover battle and you lose the penalty battle and you utterly dominate the game. That is very rare to see in any football game. Mm-hmm. Testament to this team and everything they did throughout the entire process.
This is second half stats. And man, oh man, rushing yards, 110 to -8. That says everything you need to know about how the second half went. No score.
What did I text you before the game, Steve, about Underwood? What did I text you?
Oh, the 17.5.
Yeah. So the over-under on rushing on Underwood before the game was 17.5. And I texted you before the game. I said, if this hits the under, Ohio State wins by double digits. They contained him. They did everything in their power to contain him. And he finished the game with 1 yard rushing. Now, I understand in college football, sacks, equal negative, but he finished the game with 1 rushing yard. They did an exceptional job of taking Bryce Underwood and his athleticism completely out of this game.
We've been all that all season. We're designed to stop the quarterback run. You talk about Damian Williams. That guy's an absolute stud at running the ball as a quarterback, and he did absolutely nothing when we played Washington as far as the ground game. But yeah, I think we're just designed. I mean, that starts with Sonny, right? We talked about Sonny. We got Reese too. Like, these linebackers are bred and built to stop running quarterbacks.
Yeah, if you watched the defense, though, throughout that game, it looked a lot like the Oregon game last year with the spying concept. You had Sonny predominantly spying Underwood, and I found that to be quite effective because you were really rushing 3. But when you started to see contained from the ends with Kenyatta and Caden, you were seeing that little bit push up that middle too, because what you're doing is you're not allowing that quarterback to run up the middle. So even though you're rushing 3, you're kind of pseudo rushing 4 with that presence. You were keeping that athletic quarterback in the pocket and saying, we're going to make you throw that 12-yard pass.
That's what Caden Curry said after the game. Caden Curry said, all we got to do is make him play quarterback. That was our job as a defense.
And they did it. And that is a lot tougher than it sounds. It's a lot tougher, but they did it against Oregon and Gabriel, who's not a real rushing quarterback, but sneaky getting out of the pocket. They did getting against Damon Williams, and they did it against Underwood.
Speaking of Caden Curry, did you hear what else he said after the game? They asked him about who's Heisman, about Julian Sayin being Heisman. And he was like, duh. I thought that was the best answer ever. I mean, it was like short and sweet to the point and exactly what everyone else should be thinking across the nation. You wanted a game where he needed to show it, needed to prove it a little bit from behind. He did that. You wanted a little bit of, how he can overcome through that pick, and then comes back and he was 9 of 11 after that. It was including that at one point, and then has 3 touchdown passes. Come on, man. 233 yards. I mean, I know he had 73% completion percentage, but do you expect him to have over 80 every single game? That's absolutely ridiculous.
Especially in weather.
But we were talking about this too. What an opportunity for this Ohio State defense that you actually now on Saturday have a chance to help your quarterback solidify the Heisman. Mm-hmm. This defense does, because if this defense plays the way they played all year and they make Mendoza look human, and Sayin goes out and just does his job, does his business, gives you that 75% completion percentage, 250 yards, and Ohio State wins, that will solidify Julian Sayin for the Heisman Trophy. So this defense now actually has the opportunity to help their quarterback win the Heisman. That's a very rare situation.
And it depends on how many voters put their votes in. The votes opened it up today. So some of them don't like to consider the championship games, or obviously not the bowl games, because the trophy gets handed out before then. So some of that's going to be predetermined prior to the game on Saturday. But yeah, you got a good point. They're in a perfect position to help Julian out and win the Heisman. I think Pavia is going to be another threat. That guy's an animal.
Ooh.
I mean, who would have thought in New York City in 2 weeks, you'd have a kid from Indiana and a kid from Vanderbilt sitting at the Heisman Trophy ceremony? I told you that 2 years ago. Y'all would have questioned my life choices.
Dude, speaking of Vanderbilt, man, they own Tennessee. They own
Tennessee is the fakest team in the SEC. Can we just stop talking Tennessee?
I've been
I thought we proved that last year.
I just want to see those fat men shirtless again. That's all I want.
That's something we'll take off air, Steve. That's a conversation for another day.
It's a good comment here. I don't think Underwood finishes as a skunk weasel. I think that's interesting. It's an interesting take. I think there was another comment from Doug earlier. Doug always brings good comments. He was talking about how bad his mechanics are, and do they need to get a real QB coach? And I think those two comments go hand in hand. Is Michigan willing to get a good quarterback coach and actually teach his mechanics? If not, I think that comment's right. He bounces and leaves Michigan.
He's a true freshman. I mean, we said the same thing with Raiola. It is so difficult to be a true freshman at any level of D1, let alone the Big Ten. I got to see what he looks like next year before. I think the jury is still very.
I think he's got all the talent in the world. I just think you need to polish him, and I'm just questioning Moore's ability to develop a quarterback. I mean, that's been their position of weakness. If you want to talk about Michigan the last 2 years or 3 years under Moore, it's been quarterback development. And I think Underwood's got all the tools in the world to be successful. Obviously, going as a freshman going against Matt Patricia and this defense, like I wouldn't put that on any freshman to have a good day. So I'm not going to kill Underwood as far as like what he looked like, what his stats were in this game.
Sure.
Obviously, he's got a long way to go, but I'm questioning the development standpoint at the position for Michigan, not Underwood.
Seattle Matt had to reach back there and brew some more coffee, man. You struggling?
No, I just it's 6:53, man. We've been rolling for 53 minutes. I need more coffee.
You know what I think about that? He seems to be kind of a all me all the time type of guy. You know, when you get him on those videos and he doesn't have the sense of mind to realize how big of a pedestal he's put on, he talks about himself. You're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. We're going to end Ohio State. You're going to give him the motivation. He's not thinking ahead. He's thinking now. Of course, he's young. But if you look at the Ohio State type of players, they're not given all that motivation. The only one that ever did was Jeremiah Smith. And he's already backed it up. And even his is like real kind of subtle. He's like, I didn't see much out of him, you know, and he didn't want to say it, but he kind of was like, I'm going to be honest. You know, I think he's just kind of an honest guy and gets it out as far as Jeremiah Smith. But we need to see that growth and development from Underwood. Obviously, we don't, but Michigan does, as far as both mentally and how he develops as a quarterback, as a passing quarterback. And you're right. I think they didn't run him all game because he didn't want to get hit like that.
I don't believe that, man. I think he's a competitor. I don't think it's because he didn't want to get hit. Now, I want to say he had a quick release because he was afraid of taking an unnecessary hit, or he was a little bit panicky because of the hits were coming in. But I don't know, man. I don't think like quarterbacks or true competitors like even him. Like I don't think they go out there and like, I don't want to run the ball, coach. I'm afraid to get hit. I don't believe that.
Well, I think it was more them, not him coming back to the huddle and be like, hey, don't give me the ball. I was thinking that he was getting blasted, and they're like, you know what, we can't have that. Look, I don't know what they have behind him, but obviously not much. If it's a freshman starting, he should be, you know, coming in for his first starting appearance maybe about now. But he's been starting all year, so there's obviously not much behind him. So they had to protect him a little bit.
I could agree to that.
You've never seen a freshman like me. Well, we have. And
Every single one of them almost.
but I see the talent. I see the upside. I see the ceiling that he has, or the floor. I guess it's the ceiling. Yeah, he can definitely progress a lot. He's very raw. But enough about Underwood. Let's talk more about the Buckeyes and these gold pants, baby. I gotta bring this back up again because it's
the gold pants tradition is back, baby. Back in Columbus, gold pants is again handed out like candy on Halloween. Let's go.
Who was it? Luke Montgomery that said the tradition is you give it to your mom, right? You give the gold pants to your mom, and Luke Montgomery's like, no, I'm keeping this one myself.
You seen Miss Tressel out there wearing all the gyms.
Yeah, I'd like to see Miss Meyer, see how many she's got. She got to have like a huge ass necklace. They both would, I guess.
It's pretty much just a necklace at this point.
Wraps all the way around their neck with gold pants. Like, I don't have room for any more.
Is it too much for me to ask this morning that they win this game at home? You know he's 2-0 in Ann Arbor, or he's won both his wins in Ann Arbor. He's never won at home.
I think it's coming.
We got to cross that last one off.
I know Michigan fans like to make excuses about how young their team is, but this Ohio State team ain't exactly old either. So let's bring this back to Columbus next year.
Doesn't matter. You have 14 NFL drafted players. You just bring it back.
You just reload, baby.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. That reminds me of something, dude. There is some like definite momentum or talk, I guess we should say, with if they win a title, Caleb Downs might just return.
No, he's not.
I know you're going to say that, and I know you should say that, but go back and watch. Like they just kind of, is this my last year? This is your last year to beat Michigan, and both Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs were both like, kind of looked like that on the podcast. So
I wouldn't say it's impossible with the NIL, but you're going to talk about getting some serious NIL money to keep these guys out of the NFL. Like serious NIL money. Now, sure, maybe the attempt to do a three-peat if they do win it this year will be something on their mind. Maybe, but I still think it's hard to turn down the NFL. It's just hard.
Especially when you're a top 10 pick as a safety, which is unheard of.
Hey, I get it.
If you get out the season healthy and you play another year and risk any of that, like that's a hard ask.
I don't think there is a risk because even let's just say worst case scenario, something horrific does occur. You're out a year. The talent's there. You put everything on tape. I still think you're a first round talent with that. And maybe that is playing into this where, medicine is unbelievable nowadays. An ACL and MCL, Achilles, you're back on the field in a year or less.
It's not like it used to be.
Not like it used to be. So I don't think there's that kind of risk. I just cannot fathom passing up being a top 10 pick to come back. I would be absolutely blown away. I'll take it. I just don't believe it.
Yeah, same.
I think the three-peat, the historical nature of it, and the fact that he's so much more mature than even us, like having that experience, that college experience, and maybe his brother being in the NFL now is like preaching to him a little bit. Hey, man, take your $2 million, $4 million, $8 million, whatever it is you're getting from Ohio State and enjoy your experience because once this stops, everyone's grown-ass men. We talked to Garyon Conley about the difference between the NFL and college football. He's like, man, those memories you build in the locker room, like being able to just stay in the locker room afterwards, it's completely different from the NFL than it was in college. There's a bond, there's a brotherhood that you're not going to get anywhere else. Once you get to the NFL, it's everyone goes home after you're done with everything because they got families, they have stuff to do, they have more important things to do. They're grown-ass men. They have children that they need to spend time with. They're like, they can't go out to eat afterwards.
This is postseason talk, man. We just beat Michigan.
You're right. You're right. Thanks for reeling me in, man. I got in that rabbit hole. You know what? It is. It's absolutely postseason talk. Let's talk about more of that beatdown. You talked about that drive, and I think you accidentally said 20 minutes. It was 20 plays, 81 yards for almost 12 minutes, and it was soul-crushing. Absolutely soul-crushing drive. Holy shit, man. That deflated this team and just showed you who's the weak-ass team now. Who is that soft team? Because
It's so funny.
in our offensive line.
Yeah, it's so funny because we kept saying today, Coach Day, as fans, we're saying we don't have to beat them Michigan's way. You don't have to beat them Michigan's way. And then he went out and did it anyway.
Yeah.
He just sprinkled in some dayness with the air raid.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we wanted, really, right? Because a lot of those rushing yards, I'm going to go back and look at that. I think the majority of the rushing yards came in the second half, so it was the pass that opened up the run. I mean, they were running good in the first half. You look at the total rushing yards in the first half, 76 for Ohio State. Actually, Michigan was winning the rushing battle in the first half, 108 yards. Go back to the second half, we have 110 and they have -8. Holy hell. That was, complete difference. And that is where, when I talk about the emotional aspect of the game, that touchdown before half deflated them. They went into halftime being like, we have to score. If we don't score, if we don't stop them and we don't score, they knew it. Whether anyone said it or not, game's over. Game's over.
And you have a 20-minute advantage over Michigan, too. So Ohio State had the ball 20 more minutes than Michigan did this entire game. And another demoralizing stat is 1 for 9 on third down. 1 for 9. They were 1 for 9 on third down. Like, they knew, like, some point during the game that they could not move the ball on third down on this defense. It was impossible. It's an immovable object.
Yeah. I'm glad the exec's back in the locker room, because he was last year at the end of the year, pretty much all throughout the playoffs. And he says, wait, guys, they did that drive in the snow, that 20 play, 81 yards, 12 minutes of just soul crushing defeat in the snow. Everyone was worried about the precipitation. It came a little early. I don't know. It might have affected Michigan more than it did Ohio State.
Hey, both teams got to play in it. A lot of people can mess up timing on the passing route for sure, but you still got to, as a corner, man, like trying to stay with, or as a safety, trying to stay with a wide receiver who's doing a double move like Jeremiah did. Like that's even harder on a cornerback, because you have no idea where the wide receiver is going. So you have a lot more hip movement as a corner trying to stay with a wide receiver. For
sure. Hey, we talked about the offensive line dominating. We didn't talk about the defensive line dominating. I got a little bit on K-Mac had a couple good run stuffers, but what I really wanted to talk about was that goal line offense with K-Mac in there at fullback. I want to see more of that. He did his job. He did his job and actually destroyed his man. So CJ Donaldson, I think, missed another hole. I'm going to go back and look at that, because he could have bounced it out to the outside, and I think he would have scored. But he's that straight ahead runner. He doesn't have that vision like Bo Jackson does. That's why I want to see Bo back there. Again, I'm getting back into another rabbit hole.
K-Mac, man. K-Mac shuts down the middle. He absolutely shuts down the middle. Malone's starting to come along too. That middle is on absolute lockdown. If there is a weakness on this defense, it's the edge running game that teams have had against us. That's where usually teams find a little bit of wiggle room against this defense, but it's not K-Mac. It is not Malone. It's not Houston. That defensive tackle, like that whole area is just shut down. And maybe you can get a little off tackle run against this defense, but even then, it's short-lived, because Matty P is going to shut it down. But K-Mac is the anchor of this defense. Absolutely. Everything they did on offense as far as running the game was away from K-Mac.
It was. And we've seen him skyrocket up, mock draft boards looking as a potential first-round pick out of nowhere, and it's because of his dominance in the interior line. But I want to go back to your comment about kind of the ball control. In really breaking this down in detail. So if you look at the second half, Michigan had the ball for 5 minutes and 40 seconds. That means Ohio State in the second half had the ball for 24 plus minutes. They utterly controlled. Pardon?
23-40 time of possession. Michigan had it for 6 minutes and 20 seconds, with just domination still. Yeah.
Yeah, I know some of that may be kickoff numbers too, throwing it off a little bit. I was looking at drives specifically. Okay. But that is dominance. Let's go back to last year. In the fourth quarter of last year's game, Ohio State possessed the ball for 1 minute and 57 seconds. That is the difference between last year and this year. Ball control, dominance. When we talked about crushing your soul, taking your will out, we felt that last year on that drive when it was a 10-10 game and Michigan was driving to get a field goal in place. We felt that we needed that stop and we weren't getting it. That was the same feeling that Ryan Day and this team imposed on Michigan throughout the entire second half yesterday.
Yeah. Exerting your will is one thing that Ohio State hasn't always done in this rivalry game, obviously. And they did now. And it was so refreshing to see. And it was about time because they always had the athletes to do it. It was just, you had to have, first of all, the game plan. And second of all, you had to have the momentum to do it. Like when you're up, it's a lot easier to exert your will, which is why seeing the passing game opening up the run, it was like, oh man, breath of fresh air. They did learn from that team meeting last year after the Michigan game. And he's even taking it a step further. Like he learned, I got to get my playmakers the ball. Yes. But I also need to save them and keep them fresh for the stretch run. Because he learned a lot about himself and a lot about the playoff, how it's defined, because it was the first year of the 12-team playoff and how long that season is. And you were saying it, Seattle Matt, from the beginning. It's more like an NFL season now. And Ryan Day is treating it like one. And we're all flipping our shit about it because we're like, damn, man, why is he working on the running game when we could just be dominating? And it makes sense. I mean, he's one step ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, I don't know how many Buckeye fans were criticizing Ohio State's like trying to get the run game going the last 4 weeks. We all complained about it. And now you see it. Like we said it earlier. Now you see why. You see the product. You see what he put out there. You see why he was trying to build on it. And that was the one kind of glaring weakness of this offense was we couldn't run the ball. And if we can keep Bo Jackson like this and take that into the playoffs, like, oh man, watch out.
Yeah.
But we talked about it all season. To your point, Steve, go back to the September shows, the October shows. You and I were not freaking out about anything because we understood this is a progression. I don't need to see 70 points in late September. I don't need to see you emptying the playbook in October. That's what Mario Cristobal does. That's what other coaches do. We don't need to do that. Go win your game 34-3, move on to the next week. You're installing packages, concepts, formations that now you're going to start to exploit now. What I showed you in October on film, I'm going to trick up now against Indiana next week. I'm going to do that in the playoffs. I'm going to show you different routes and different concepts that I didn't show you in October. This is about a 16-week, 5-month progression, and Coach Day has bought in on that because he looks at his team every year and says, we're going to play 16 football games. We're not, Rutgers where we play 12. We play 16. And that is an entire 4 extra games to prepare for. They're going about everything the right way here.
And speaking of that, you just spurred something in my mind. You're not Rutgers playing 12. You're not Michigan playing 13. Because you know what? We just bounced them from the college football playoff. Any chance they had in it, they lost it yesterday at noon. Man, and Ohio State just dominated. Even when the run, they knew the run was coming down the stretch. They couldn't stop it. Outcast, you've had some great comments here in the locker room, so I just wanted to give you your appreciation. They couldn't. They absolutely couldn't stop it. And I have a feeling in the second half that Cignetti will wish he rested his players more in the regular season when the freshman runs wild on it. That's
exactly the point I'm trying to hit on. And Doug hit the nail on the head flawlessly.
Always does.
You're number one in scoring in the country. You're number one in offense in the country. You think it's funny to put all these points up against UCLA and Purdue. Who gives a damn? It doesn't matter. Style points are dead in college football. By and large, I understand Miami and Notre Dame are jockeying for style points. That's fine. You're at the lower end of the bracket. Again, who gives a damn? Cignetti's playing this like it's 2006, and you're looking at the BCS computers and looking at style points. Style points don't matter. They don't.
Yeah,
I think it's a little different for Cignetti, and I think he has to play his team this way because he doesn't have depth, right? So he's got to get on you, and he's got to get on you quick, and he's got to get on you fast. Because if he gets into a depth battle game that he might get against Ohio State next week, he needs to be on fire from the get-go. So I think he coaches a different philosophy, and I don't think it's wrong, but I think that's why he goes about it that way. He's like, hey, I don't have the backups they have. I don't have the other people that they have. So I need to put points up fast and in a hurry. And I think that's why he runs his offense that way. And then it's Indiana, right? Indiana has something to prove. I mean, they're one of the worst programs historically in football. So I still think like if he took a loss, like if he lost that game to Penn State, everything else he does matters, right? So like if you lose that Penn State game, you need to have all those style points that you probably don't need as Ohio State. And then what part of it's the helmet game and part of it's their schedule. I think he's kind of doing what he has to do, I think, for his team.
I agree with that, but I want to add on to it. Look back at what Day learned last year with a season of success. His was different. Look back what Cignetti learned last year with a season of success. Success is defined differently at Indiana than it is at Ohio State. Ohio State wants hardware. Indiana wants to get a little bit better. All right. And the reason he is where he is because he put points on people last year that didn't matter. All right. Mm-hmm. And they lost all the big games. Well, here's your big game. You got to come out and win it to get to that next iteration for the Hoosiers. I don't think they have what it takes. And to your point, I don't think they have the depth that it's going to take. So they are going to have to come out early. They are going to have to throw some trick plays at you. They are going to have to be very aggressive. They're probably going to have to go for it if they get, a third and short or a third and even manageable fourth and even manageable at the very beginning of the game, because they're not going to be able to give up scores. They're not going to be able to play this possession game with Ohio State. They'll get knocked out early.
Yeah, it goes down to his personality too. That's why he's the loudest coach. That's why he talks the most. He always has the most to say. Like he's trying to build a brand, and he needs the marketing, right? It all starts at marketing, and I think that's why he runs his offense the way he is. I think that's why he talks the way he does, because he's trying to build something there. And it's apples and oranges, man, when you compare, say, Indiana to Ohio State.
It's only fitting for the exec to say Seattle Matt, no fluff and straight to the point. Tell it like it is. That's Seattle. I mean, he's right up there in the exec category with you. When you're up by 3 scores and when you're supposed to build depth, that's when it's going to matter. I think that's what Doug's trying to say. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to build depth then, but I just don't think that they have quality depth. They haven't recruited like some of these other programs are, and they're kind of the flash in the pan type of team. Maybe that's extended and they're starting to recruit now. And I think years down the line, that's where Cignetti is going to be dangerous, 2 years from now.
Let's not get it twisted. Yeah, they're 22. Their 22's a pretty good roster.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I agree with that. And maybe flash in the pan was the wrong word.
No, I agree with you this year. So let's really break down Indiana's 2-year stretch. Last year, played absolutely nobody. They played 2 tough games, and they got obliterated in both games. Ohio State, Notre Dame. This year, they have a really good quarterback for 1 year. They have a really good quarterback. He's got some talent there, and a really good quarterback can make everything else in your program look good. Let's see you go recruit a quarterback after Mendoza. Let's see you maintain this. Let's see you schedule somebody in your non-conference for the first time in the history of your program. Let's start to see you actually show that you belong. Right now, you are a flash in the pan.
But a good flash in the pan. Yeah, obviously, if you can go into Autzen Stadium and get out of there with that win,
that's a hell of a win.
Oregon, this is a good
to play in college football. I will give you that. That is a hell of a win. Very tough to go to Autzen and win. He's got a great quarterback. That's what he's got this year.
And the second to that, they also went into Penn State's house with a wideout and won that. Well,
you mean the team that just scraped by being bowl eligible yesterday against Rutgers? Yeah.
Yes, but it's still different at their place. It's different.
And it's a talented roster, nonetheless.
And they still have talent. Defense is talented.
It is, but you should handle that. I mean, you saw what happened Ohio State kept Penn State in that game in the first half. Yeah, they have a roster, but once you start piling it on, that team goes back to that losing mentality they've had this year. You could have buried them. You were up 20-7 in that game, and Penn State came back and took the lead.
Oh, remember when that was a Heisman moment? No one's talking
beating
about
a 6-6 team is a Heisman moment.
You happen to come back and get that score at the end of the game. No one's going to talk about that now. And we said that then.
It was a Heisman moment, but the Heisman moments, like people like highlight culture, man. It's highlight culture. It was a Heisman moment, and Heisman moments are good, but it's also your your play throughout the year, right?
It's additive.
I think everybody loves a good Heisman moment, but you also got to consider everything else too. But I mean, you got to give him credit where credit is due. That was an amazing drive. He almost ended that drive on a bad play, taking a sack. Mendoza's the real deal. Holyfield, man, he's going to be. I mean, the NFL's telling you he is.
He's the first quarterback taken in the NFL draft next year. I mean, he is. Full stop.
Got a lot of portal players. They got to build talent that's not just portal if they want to have long-term success. But let's stop talking about Indiana. We got a whole week to break that down. Let's talk about some more of these.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can't get enough of this photo, man.
Hey, can this be our alternate uniform against Michigan next year?
Ooh, damn, I like that.
I tell you what, that is a clever idea, actually, to have for a game. Remember when they went through that run for the teens, where every year it was an alternate uniform for that game? I'm kind of glad they got rid of that.
Yeah, me too. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to the uniform.
I didn't mind it. That's where I got this jersey from an alternate.
I don't know. I don't care for that.
To me, just don't touch the helmets. I love the all scarlets. I like the all whites.
I kind of wish Michigan wore the maize pants. Like I don't like that non-traditional look. I like the maize and blue on one side. I like the scarlet and gray on the other. Like that's iconic. It's classic. I kind of wish that they would keep it that way.
Dude,
especially for this game.
I think they should keep the jerseys for the game, but I think they should do both home jerseys, just like UCLA and USC. I think that would be absolutely beautiful. Absolutely.
I would love that, but that's their thing, man. I don't think you should go out and try to rob another rivalry's tradition. So I do love the idea, and I think I would love to see it on the TV, and it would look awesome. But I think that let USC and UCLA have their thing because that's about all I got. You know, they're not.
I want to steal
coming out that locker room anymore.
Yesterday, was anybody in attendance?
An all-time level attendance record.
Let me check. Make sure that was a real game.
Yeah, it happened. It was a lot closer than it should have been, but it was a game that did happen.
They pulled away. USC pulled away late.
Yeah,
super late. 15 in the fourth quarter. I mean, that was a 14-10 game. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, we just got to give another OH, baby. Got that off. Ryan Day's back. He's ready to build that dynasty. Is there any questions or reserves you have that this team has what it takes to make it back-to-back, make a historical team, hang another banner right next to that 2024 one?
Obviously, it's all about goals, right? Number one goal, I think, for every Buckeye fan, if you're a true Buckeye fan, the number one goal this year was to beat Michigan. Obviously, we haven't won a Big Ten in a while. It's been a while since we've been able to do that. So that's goal number two. But obviously, number one for any true Buckeye fan is always beat Michigan. And then now we're going to make a serious run, play for the Big Ten, and make a serious run to the playoffs. I think at this point, if you look at all the teams out there, I know the SEC likes to talk about how good they are and how much depth they have. I don't really see a team out of there that's super scary. I mean, Georgia's, I think, got the propensity to be a really, really good team down the stretch. Alabama's always going to have the talent, but I mean, I don't really see a playoff team. Notre Dame scares me a little bit because their ability to run the ball has been really, really good. I think they're a scary, scary two-loss team. But yeah, I'd take Ohio State versus the field right now, sitting comfortably. But yeah, that's kind of where I sit.
If Ohio State does run the table and wins out, do we get to call Michigan's 15-0 season a Mickey Mouse national title?
No, that was a legit national title.
Since they didn't win enough. They didn't win enough games. It's not impressive anymore.
Hey, you got to be Ryan Day, man. You ain't got to show your enemy. Hey, what did he say?
Steve, you get buried in social media too much, man. You're so worried about the chirping from Michigan fans. You're national champions. When you lose, say little. When you win, say less, man.
No.
Ryan Day said it the best. Ryan Day said it the best. He's like, we didn't come here to win this game for the hate of our enemy. We did it for the love of our brothers.
Yes. That's what you got to focus in on. Focus on you. Ryan Day's mantra this entire season has been go out and do your job. Don't worry about the opponent or the logo or where you're playing or anything else. Go execute your job. And that's all this Ohio State team has done is I'm going to get better today than I was yesterday. They're solely focused on improving themselves and playing their brand of football. And that's the right mentality to have when you have the talent and you're the best team in the country.
That was one of the best lines that I think we needed to hear as a fan base, as Ohio State fan base, was that exact line. We won this game for the love of our brothers, not the hate of our rival.
I like that quote. I'm gonna have to take that. Also, Outcast has been throwing up some good comments on the locker room again, so just want to include the picture to go along with it. This was absolutely awesome. This photo to me is just picture perfect. All right. Ohio State in the stands, Michigan football team blocking the M like we give a damn. And you know what Brandon Ennis said on Instagram after this? If they were going to block anything, they should have been blocking the end zone, not the damn M after the game.
That's crazy because they set up such a poetic picture too of them sitting there watching Ohio State celebrate with their fans, their teammates, not trying to make a statement on them, not trying to crap on them or crap on their field or make a shot at their stadium. It was literally about us. I look to my left, I look to my right. There's my teammates, and I'm going to celebrate with the fans, the people who make this possible.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect celebration. And then Michigan just adds to it because they're just looking on like, what just happened?
They're like, we're not going to let that happen. We were not going to let them plant their flag. You know what? Ohio State didn't need to do that. They're better than that. And Ryan Day said, like you said before the show, what exactly did he say to Sharon Moore?
Wow. So when they shook hands to end the game, he said, "Hey, get your guys off the field. We're not going to plant any flags. Let's just not have any conflict." And that's what he said to my handshake.
So he was being the national title winning head coach and barking orders at the other coach. Get your players off the damn field, man. Come on. That's
I don't think that's how Ryan Day meant it. I think he actually just meant it to like, hey, let's just try to not have any issues.
I agree.
More definitely looked at him a little sideways, like
that's how Sharon Moore took it. And that's the difference. When you're presidential, when you have a national title to your name, that's how people take it. And they're like, oh, and he's like, all right, man, you got to give him the respect because he's got the hardware and he just beat you. Like the only thing he had against Ryan Day was Ryan Day couldn't beat him. Now that's gone. That's over with. That's in the past. You listen when Ryan Day talks, you listen. And Sharon Moore did. I love it.
To give him credit, they both, after that handshake, went out and got their own players separated. They both worked on trying to make sure that nothing crazy happened or no fights, no injuries, nothing like that. They both kind of did a good job doing that after the game. So
this is a good way to end the show, man. Right on this. Gold pants and celebrating with the fans and the brotherhood that Ohio State and Ryan Day have created is next level, man. Absolutely next level. Next level. Best defense Michigan has faced. Defending the Blocko in the middle of the outhouse. Oh, man. Oh, sorry. I totally butchered his quote, but the best defense the team up north played yesterday was defending that block M in the middle of the field, man. Oh.
I seen a pretty good quote that I seen somebody else put on a message board. I was talking about how long did they practice protecting the block M. Apparently they should have did a little bit more scheme.
It's a beautiful sight to see, man. I can't get enough of this picture. I can't get enough of this picture. And I sure shit can't get enough of this one either.
That was more important. Gold pants are now the standard.
Yeah.
Get used to that. That needs to be the standard. This picture symbolizes everything you've been saying for years and years about getting Ohio boys in here, understanding the rivalry, understanding the importance of this game. And it's okay that this game means a little bit more. National championship games mean a little bit more than playing Minnesota, right? It's okay that games have different feels to them. And it's okay this one meant more. And Bo Jackson understood that. But gold pants are going to be the norm here.
Mm-hmm. And as they should be.
Yeah, let's bring it back to the early 2000s until Michigan went on their run. How many gold pants did we earn? Let's make that tradition, baby. It's just what I wouldn't say expect because you got to earn. Nothing's ever expected, but keep earning it to where it's always there.
That's it.
Jeff's right, shouting out those Cleveland boys.
Earn them gold pants, baby. That's what we do. And until next week, we'll start, or actually Wednesday, we'll start breaking down a little bit of the Big Ten championship game. So we're going to get into that. Join us 10 o'clock Wednesday night, breaking down the Big Ten championship game. Only more hardware from here on out for the Buckeyes. Everyone have a great rest of your day. God bless. Go Bucks. OH.